Hello, the Jack and Nori cabbie. I'm just telling you some stories from the back of the cab in the hope that maybe a publisher or a literary agent will take up the calls because I'd like to give some money to Lee Rigby's son. Not from me, from London cab drivers. So if you're a cabbie and you see me about and I'm on a rank, you've got a good story, let me know. So the first one I want to tell you is it's only very short, but a cabbie said he was sitting down and a young boy come up to him. He says, "Yo, bro, can you take me to Crystal Palace?" And he went, "No." And then the passenger said, "Why not?" He said, "Can you pay me up front?" He said, "No, I'll get the money when we get there." The cabbie said, "May I refer you to my first answer, sir?" So the second one, I'm a bit short on lady drivers giving me stories and yellow badges because not many of us will meet and bump into a yellow badge, and as you know, I'm already. So I went to a wedding recently, and me and this chap got talking. He's a yellow badge, and I told him what I was intending to do. His name's Lee the yellow badge. So he said to me, he doesn't know if this is funny, but I'm welcome to use it if I need it. So he was sitting at the Olympic Park, and he said a great big Russian come up. He was quite drunk, and he said, "Would you mind taking my brother because he's really drunk?" He said, "Look, how drunk?" He said, "Well, he's unconscious." And he said, "Well, look, if he's sick, you got to pay the fare, and you got to pay £40 deposit as well for a clean-up fee." So he's got his wallet out, give him 40 quid, and he said, "How much do you think it'll be to go near West Ham's football ground?" He said, "Well, you'll probably get some change out of £20, so you give him another £20. So he's got £60. He said, and they're driving. He said, "You're going to pick my mate up along the road." He went, there he is. So they picked him up. And he said that they've taken him down this really dodgy street. And he said, "Oh, shit me pants." So I didn't fancy going down there. And he said they pulled up, and out the back window, he said four massive geezers come walking towards the cab. And he thought, here we go. I'm going to get turned over here. And they all got out and said, "Wait 5 minutes. There's £20. Wait 5 minutes." They said, "Now I've got £80." He said, just for being helpful. And he said, they've brought this bloke down, and he's completely unconscious. Said they were all four. What was it? 6 of them. All 6 of them were dragging this bloke along. His feet were dragging along the floor. He said that they've kind of wrestled him in because he was just out of the game. And I've had to sit him down, sit him up straight. And the first bloke that says, "Can you take me to Ilford now, please?" And they're driving along towards Ilford. He said the first bloke who got in has started crying. He said, this is not normal. So I said, "What's going on, mate?" He said, "What's going on?" He said, "The Russians can drink to save the planet." He said, "My brother's let the Russian nation down." He said, "My mum's going to disown him." This is really weird. He said, "I've pulled up a block of flats in Ilford." He said, "Just wait there." He said, "There's another £40." So he says, "I've got £120, I think it was." And he said, another 4 Russians come down. And they've kind of yanked this bloke out the cab, and they're walking him up the block of flats with his feet dragging behind him. He is proper out of his box. He said, and I got 120 quid for doing nothing at all. He said, "Great night." He said, "I've went off to do some more jobs." He said, "I got one through Bexley Heath. He said, "I've come back through the Blackwall Tunnel." He said, "And all of a sudden, I'm surrounded by police cars." He said, "And also, put my hands up." And the officer in charge says, "Put your hands down, mate." And he says, "Have you been driving Russians about?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "What was wrong with a quiet one?" He said, "Well, he was a bit drunk." He went, "No, he was deceased." He said that I've put my hands up again. And he said, put put your hands down. He said, we just need the statement from you to clarify the what happened on the journey and that. And so, and the last one of all, sometimes I tell a story and people go, who? So I could tell you a story about Liza Minnelli. About 5 or 6 years ago, there was a fire broke out in Hilton Park Lane. And they've obviously got to evacuate the hotel. So I'm about third or fourth in the rank. And Liza Minnelli come out with no makeup on, carpet slippers and a dressing gown. And the cab driver in front, quick as a flash, went, all right, don't make a song and dance about it. And for those who don't know or understand, she's famous for that from Cabaret. So hopefully the stories are entertaining. If you want to send an email, that'll be Jackanory Cabby. That's CABBIE@gmail.com. And I'll see you again, I hope.